Hi everyone. I thought I'd make an update since it's been about a year since my last one, and I wasn't very active over the summer, so it's kind of hard to see how things evolve when I don't do these videos. But 2018 was a whirlwind, so was 2019, and I figure I should catch all of you loyal subscribers up, especially since I'm not involved on social media anymore, so for some of you, there's not a lot of ways to know what's happening. So anyway, here we go. I should start with the weather. So last year about this time it was minus 20 degrees Celsius and windy, and there was snow and ice everywhere. We had just an awful spring after a mediocre winter, and it's definitely didn't put me in the greatest of moods. So I'm very happy. This winter we had a record cold January and February, lots of snow. It was a whole lot of fun getting out there. Clearing snow is just the best way to use a tractor as far as I'm concerned. And we've had a very, very consistent March melt. So the snow is almost gone now. There's no sign of the double-digit temperatures slowing down as we go into mid-April, and everything is just looking great. There's even green grass in a lot of places. So this is awesome, and I'm just hoping that we don't have another drought summer. Maybe Alberta can pull itself out of this rut. Who knows? But anyway, that's the weather. Now we'll get a bit more into the meat of things. So last year, my parents were very gracious and they helped me out with this tractor shelter here. We all got together and built it. This is just to keep a lot of the valuable equipment out of the rain. Seeing as how my parents also did purchase this John Deere 430 and it's almost impossible to fit it inside the shop, they needed a place to store it safely too. I'll have another video on this for darn sure. I'm just collecting footage, taking my time, and making sure I can approach it the way I want it to. But it's been working all winter. It's a beast. I did some work on it back from when we got it. I flipped the tires around, put tubes in them, and now they have appropriate offset for loader work. It's nicer to have them out like that. Much more stable. As you can see, we've got some shelves here for storing things. Makes it a lot easier. We haven't even used all the shelves yet, but it's nice. All of the mowing decks are neatly stacked up against the edge here. I have my deck dolly for the big 60-inch deck on the 455. I'll probably end up selling this 54-inch blade for the 322. I don't really use it all that much. It's hard to disconnect the snowblower, so there's not a lot of point. Here's the GT 19.9 waiting patiently under cover. Plans for it this year include drilling out the throttle lever to make sure that it can actually hold its position, because when I throttle it up, it just kind of slowly throttles itself down. It's really annoying. It makes the tractor unusable. But everything else, you know, it's a turnkey tractor. I made sure of that last year, so I'll just keep her going this year and fix it up a little bit, tinker with it. That's what's fun. Got big plans for the Roper. I don't know if I'll accomplish them, but I proved to myself last year and over the winter that the Roper is a really fun, usable tractor and something that I want to spend my time on. So I'd like to paint it and effectively restore it. I want a really deep red gloss kind of paint for most of the tractor. The hood is going to be aspen white like my Subaru, and all I'm undecided on are the gas tank and the lower front grille. It's red now, but they came in a variety of different colors on the Ropers. I've seen them black, I've seen them white, I've seen them red. So I have 3 different schemes to choose from. I'm leaning towards black, but I'd really appreciate your guys' input. So that's the Roper. I just want to make a bunch more videos with it. I want to get out. I want to use the plow again and all that kind of stuff. This tractor is just so much friggin' fun. Reminds me of what the hobby is all about, and it's great. So I got the GoPro mount there, and everywhere I go with this thing, I want to film it. So this is it for the tractors in the shelter. I'll move on here to the ones in the shop. I very frequently would swap out the 54-inch blade and the 47-inch snowblower on the 455. Right now the snowblower's on it, and when it's off it just sits on that pallet. So here are the tractors in the shop. I'll start with the 322 actually. So I put about 5 hours on it this winter. Not a whole heck of a lot, but there's been some things with it. The tractor itself has held up well. I can't complain. Did some small things. It's due for an oil change. What I did do was replace the intake gaskets on it, but that still hasn't solved the surging and kind of hunting problem that these 322s have, just due to lack of an acceleration pump, I think. But I'm working on that. I'll see if I can find a solution that doesn't involve swapping out that Nikki carburetor for an expensive Onan one with an accelerator pump. Maybe it just needs to be deeper cleaned. The real struggles have come with this 47-inch snowblower that's on the front of this thing. I discovered that one of the gearbox seals here was slightly leaking, so then I took it upon myself 2 days before school started to try and replace it, and it was a big rigmarole. Got the wrong seals for the gearbox twice, got the wrong bearings because they kept ordering for the newer style Model 47 regardless of what I'd tell them, and eventually got everything back and got it all together and realized that the augers were on backwards. I'd put the augers backwards so that they push all the snow to the outside of the snowblower. And that was no good, and that's kind of where I had to give up because I was just too busy with school to bother with this thing again. What I have to do now is take the whole gearbox assembly and auger assembly out and drive the bearings off of the ends of the shafts to reverse the augers. Hopefully I don't damage the eccentric locking collars. But we'll see. I'll get this thing back together, and maybe next winter I'll use it again. It's been a ton of fun. I bought a weight bracket for the back of this thing, a homemade weight bracket, so that should improve ballasting issues with the snowblower. And Ray, if you're watching, I know you're subscribed to me. That was a very nice weight bracket you sold me, and well, we'll be in touch. The 455 has been an absolute blast. It's been incredible to use, puts a big smile on my face. Just come out here, plug the block heater in, and go. Quick hitch with the snowblower and the blade. It's swapped between them many times over the winter. And now, after having about 720 hours on it when I bought it, it's at 755. So it's getting its usage. I changed the oil to 0W40 after the 10W30, well, didn't really last over the winter. It's only good till minus 20, and we had the coldest February on record in a while, so minus 30-degree temps pretty consistently when it was snowing. And eventually I just bit the bullet and replaced the oil with fully synthetic. The other big thing with this 455 is that I actually managed to pick up a 3-point hitch Category 0 suitcase weight bracket. So that replaced the regular weight bracket that I'd normally put on the back, and it actually allowed for a lot more leverage. It's almost too much weight to use with the blade and just turf tires on the front. It made steering difficult sometimes. So it's nice to at least use the 3-point hitch for something now that I have it and have it installed. I don't have the PTO. I sold that with my parts tractor because all that really is used for is to run the tiller. But the 3-point hitch offers up some interesting opportunities for fabricating implements. And so if there's anything to do with the 455 this summer, it'll be trying to find ways of building things for this 3-point hitch. So that's it for the Deers. I had the opportunity last year to take the time and market all of my used Sears parts over Facebook and whatnot, just to get them in the hands of people who are going to use them, as opposed to just hoarding up around here where there's no market. So all I have left at this point are 3 grills, 3 mule drives, a really nice pair of fenders, and a discharge chute. These are all items that are kind of difficult to ship. I've got some rods up there, and I have this bucket full of odds and sods, little bits that I saved off a lot of the Sears tractors that I got in relatively complete condition that were just not worth fixing. And then over there I guess I have some Onan parts too in that green tin that you can barely see. But I'm quite happy because this shed is virtually empty and the rest is all Subaru parts. What's more, I was able to concentrate my entire collection of Sears Suburban implements under this one nice brown tarp, so it all kind of blends in with the forest and doesn't take up a lot of space. As a final note too, I'd just like to mention this gravel float. It's homemade. I picked it up with the 3-point hitch weight bracket for my 455, and I'm excited to use this thing because, well, you've seen our gravel driveway in a lot of the videos, and every year, well, we need to drag the harrows out and resurface it. So it'll be really awesome to use this, and mark my words, there will be video of this event. I had a ton of fun resurfacing it last year with the 2 deers, and this year it'll be just the same. To conclude, I'd like to give a brief note about some changes in personal philosophy that I've had over the past year. In 2018, I bought, worked on, and sold a record number of tractors, essentially taking it on as a virtual full-time job. The yard was packed with tractors, and it made me kind of realize something, which is all these years that I figured out ways of working with, buying, fixing, and selling tractors in the most economic way possible in terms of effort to dollars, I kind of lost track of some of the original philosophies that kind of drove my tractor hobbies in the early days, regardless of value. When I'd take the time to fix, rebuild, and restore tractors and learn new skills and do it right. I haven't painted a tractor since 2010, and I haven't rebuilt a mowing deck since 2011. And these are all sorts of deeper mechanical things that I have an interest in doing. I've always had an interest in doing, but many things have kind of prevented me from getting around to it. I guess I just have an effort budget, and when I spend all of that effort budget fixing tractors for sale and doing the same thing and learning something new here and there, but it's mostly same old, I'm not learning a heck of a lot. So that's why this year I'm going to do everything in my power to not acquire any new lawn and garden equipment. I'm going to work with and invest in the equipment that I have and make it better and do different things with it, because I think that's the spirit of the hobby that I've been missing. And as I go forward in my life, in school, and I look forward to a professional career, to home ownership, all of these things that kind of tie you up towards your late 20s, I want to push myself further and further, and I've realized that a lot of it has to do with the intangible skills that you learn as a person along the way. I want to get my hands dirty with this roper. I want to fix it up as a testament to how much this hobby means to me. And at the end of the day, I want to challenge myself in new ways. So that's what the tractor hobby is going to be about for me from now on. I'm not going to clutter up the yard with a bunch of stuff only to fix it up and sell it for the lowest amount of effort and the highest amount of dollar. What I'm up to now is going to benefit me going forward in a much more intrinsic way. I have everything that I could ever ask for in this hobby. The 455, the 430, they're kind of crown jewels. I have a GT 19.9 in excellent shape. I have this roper, which is really unique and interesting. I have all the parts that I could ever want to maintain those Sears tractors for years to come. And I have every single implement I could ever hope to use with them. So at the end of the day, I'm looking forward to some better things to come in my future with the tractor hobby. It occurred to me when I was coming back downstairs to get the footage off the camera that I had received this letter from the Snyders down in Pennsylvania regarding Plow Day 2019. I am totally gutted that I won't be able to come this year. It'd be worth it to me to go every year, and I just had to say I still mean it, that it was the experience of a lifetime going down and participating in that. And I just wanted to make sure that all of you watching who were there, who accommodated me, who met me there, who bothered to come up to me, shake my hand. It means the world. I barely have any words to describe it, just how profound that was, and how much it meant to me to have been able to make connections and make an impact through my videos over the years with a bunch of folks who just blew me away with their kindness. It was incredible, and I sincerely intend to make it back down there to see all of you again at a future time. It might end up being as far away as 2021 before I can finish school and get myself down there. But I just wanted to say, damn it, I'll be there. One day, I'll come back. And in the meantime, I'll keep in touch with all of you over YouTube. I think that's a pretty good compromise. So, thanks very much for watching if you stayed all the way to the end. And you'll be hearing more from me over the summer.